media lied about Mount Everest's most hated woman. This woman is the most controversial climber in the history of Mount Everest, and her name is Sandy Hill Pittman. In 1996, Sandy hoped to become the 34th woman ever to reach the summit of Mount Everest. And this third time, Sandy would even give herself one more boost of urgency to fuel her fire. She would end up striking a deal with NBC to transmit messages to the internet so that she could basically live blog from the mountain. Guide Scott Fisher's group, which of course included Sandy, woke up at Camp 4 on Mount Everest, ready to make that final push up to the summit. And what you have to understand is that they all had a very tight window to do this before a predicted storm and bad weather conditions would potentially start up right around 2 p.m. But around this point, Sandy was starting to struggle. She was being incredibly stubborn, maybe even a little bit reckless, but you can also kind of understand, she came all this way, this is her dream, she's literally almost there, right? And then, finally, at 2:30 p.m., Sandy and a few others reached the summit of Mount Everest. And just as Sandy and the rest of the climbers looked down the mountain at the path leading all the way back down to Camp 4, Mother Nature decided to unleash on them. And by that I mean, well, pretty much worst case scenario happened. A nasty blizzard started up, snow and wind are whipping in everyone's faces. Things got so bad for Sandy that she needed to ask for a literal shot of adrenaline in order to help keep her going. And folks, things did not get better. The blizzard got even worse, and at the same time, so did Sandy's condition, even after taking this adrenaline shot. The next morning, numbers started to come in. And of course, I'm talking about a death toll here. In total, 8 people died during this disaster on various parts of the mountain between Camp 4 and all the way up to the summit. Sandy did become the 34th woman to summit Everest. Sure, she made history, but that's not what would ultimately define her story. When Sandy descended from the mountain, nobody cared that she had reached the summit. Instead, she found herself caught in the middle of a media firestorm. There's a pretty infamous article in Vanity Fair. It painted Sandy as this wealthy, out-of-touch American woman whose lack of preparedness for Everest were at least partially responsible, or at least reasons for why so many climbers died that night. Sandy Hill Pittman was made out to be the ultimate Everest villain. But that begs the question, did she deserve it?